Hello, dear listeners, and thank you for joining us on Curl Up and Dice, Calamity of the 100, a brand new homebrew world designed by our very own DM, Itza. This is Charlie, otherwise known as Pinky, your favorite kobold artificer. As this is a brand new D&D podcast, we rely heavily on your support. We broadcast weekly, live on Twitch at 6:30 p.m. EDT, and you can find all of our previous episodes on YouTube by searching Curl Up and Dice, where we publish our edited episodes a week later. You can also find the link to our Twitch channel on YouTube, as well as our Discord, where you can send us feedback, suggestions, participate in our Players Secret system, and engage with the cast in the general chat. So please like, follow, share, and subscribe on whichever platform you're watching or listening on. It would mean a lot and help get the word out there to others who might not know about us yet. Now, enough of that. Let's get on with the show.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 9, I believe, of Curl Up and Dice's main flagship stream, Calamity of the 100. My name is Sleevington, aka George, aka Milo, a Dutch-sounding fighter. James, what do you sound like?
I sound like me. I'm playing Rusty, a dwarf wizard who is on the verge of a mental breakdown right now, going through some troublesome shit. Charlie, who the hell are you?
Hello, my name is Pinky. I'm playing a kobold artificer. This is what I sound like. Mark, how about you?
What about your character?
Hello.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm Mark, also aka Mick the Lick, but only if you're on our Discord, which I don't think is that up and running properly yet. I'm playing Scott Booyarg. I am a undead sorcerer, undead warlock sorcerer, and he sounds like this a little bit. And next up is our DM Itza.
I'm Itza, or Alex, which sometimes they'll call me when they forget. I'm the DM of this campaign. I have thousands of hours of experience. More than most DMs, I might say myself. But anyway, moving on from bragging, we join our party once more on this week of the Calamity of the 100. Welcome, everybody, to episode 9 of Calamity of the 100. We join our party once more as we see them trekking through the desert wastes and canyons on the plain of the hateful sun, a place truly forgotten and left behind in the sands of age. As we see the party plunking their way through this inhospitable canyon, quickly walking away from some horrible wretches they had just destroyed and left behind to linger in the cold sand of the canyon. We saw how the party got here, originally following Rusty's sister. A much bereaved Rusty continued the chase after his sister, hoping against hope that she had not changed too much, that she could not be rescued by him. As the rest of the party followed in his wake, they continued through portals, teleporting them to the plane of the hateful sun, a land where the drow came from, and worse things still. They soon figured out why this place was so inhospitable and why the drow live underground. The hateful sun itself. After a narrow dodge last week and the week before from the hateful sun, they continued into a cavern full of portals, finding them to be less than ideal portals to travel through. They continued through the cavern, coming to an outpost at the end of the enormous cavern. There they found undead, ready to assail them. These shard undead quickly leapt at the party, but with some skillful fighting, they killed them upon the staircase. Killing these strange drake dogs and the dead drow defenders, they proceeded through the chambers, nearly walking past a resident local He heard banging and yelling from inside the chamber as ghouls taunted him. There inside, the party opened the door and killed yet more ghouls to reveal Hazim Faretin, a local and a guard. After some questioning, the party soon learned that he'd been locked in this cell due to his importance. Not sure what this meant, but desperate for answers, Rusty questioned him, figuring out that his sister had indeed been through here with some mercenaries. They'd smashed the place up and resurrected some of these guards as undead. Not sure what to make of it. Rusty was quite beside himself. While this was going on, the rest of the party questioned Hazim and learned that he was a member of the 100, and it seems that Rusty's sister maybe had spared him because of this, or no thanks to this. During the same time, it seems that Hazim had been having conversations with a ghostly figure that the party had been talking with. A less than friendly figure called the One Who Walks as Many. It seems Hazim had also been having dreams of an alternate self, a strange woman, a female orc called Nadir. Although these dreams seemed to be mild in comparison to some of the party's mental problems. As they talked more about the local fauna and foliage of this place, Rusty needed a minute for himself, and the party continued talking about how they were going to continue. Nazim proffered himself as a guide, and not taking no for an answer due to the fact of how hostile it is traveling alone, they decided to take him on, at least for a time. Learning that the nearest settlement, Greenleaves, was 50 kilometers distant, the party would have their work cut out for them. But Rusty, eager to keep hot on his sister's trail, wanted to continue to the ruins it sounded like she was heading to. Nazim explained that an archaeological dig was taking place not too far off, through a set of canyons and out into the flat desert. Wanting to go there first, the party ushered Nazim on, who also wanted to catch up to Rusty's sister on the fact that Rosy had killed many of Hazim's co-workers and friends. Although this was a point of antagonism between the two, both decided to put aside their differences and continue after Rusty's sister. Proceeding into the desert, they saw the ruins of a once great civilization. Pressing into the canyon, they discovered that the sun was on their heels. Deciding to make a break for the canyon, they found other things in the canyon, trying to stay out of the light of the hateful sun. Quickly, though, its minions gathered as stray, tiny malleables came to try and devour and change the party. After a brief but frantic battle, they managed to kill these little pustules of meat and rush on forward, getting deeper into the canyon before they could catch. I think we catch the party now, as you see an eternal twilight of this place, apart from when the hateful sun comes close. The party wheezing out of breath after running the past mile or two. It seems you put enough pace between those squalid meatballs and the like, because you see Hazim, puffing with breath, although it's clear he gets his cardio in, as he's the first to speak. He's like, "Are we all here? That was, lucky, those were small ones." Oh.
Are they all behind us? That was a close one, I think.
I think Pinky's little thing made enough noise so that we may have escaped for a while.
Yeah, quick thinking, Pinky. Shall we proceed quickly before they catch up to us?
Quite. Keep on the eye out. We found your sister's tracks, Rusty, but there's no doubt other things trying to hide in here from the rays of the sun.
And he points above, where you see the lingering twilight slowly moving across the horizon as that eldritch entity moves about somewhere in the horizon.
I cringe when he says the name again.
Yeah. Shall we call it?
I went through this a couple of hours ago. We were thinking about just not talking about the thing at all.
Ignore it. Yeah. This seems like the most logical way of reasoning with this. Ignore it, and you won't have to refer to it. Let's continue on.
True.
As Milo seems a little bit stressed out about the existence of a son that can scorn them very quickly.
Seemingly in his forgetfulness, or he doesn't have much of an attention span. You look over at Hazim as he examines the track that Rosy left behind, and he just nods to himself. I thought that caravan before your sister came through went this way. It seems that's the case. There's cart tracks here. And he points in the hard-packed earth.
Just want a quick glance around to see if anything's following us.
Yeah,
Maybe I
go
can
ahead and
perceive
make
something.
a perception check.
Can I lay a hand on Pinky's shoulder and whisper a
Oh,
quick
sure.
prayer to the passions?
It's not really so much a whisper, but yeah.
15. Well, +4, or plus D4.
A D4.
There we go, +1. So
It's not 4.
Yeah. 60. I know. I'm sorry.
You better be sorry.
You bastard.
16.
Yeah.
How dare you assume?
Yeah, as you look around, you hear a strange buzzing noise coming from behind a set of decently small rocks.
Hazim, I hear some buzzing behind those rocks. Should we investigate or just run?
He looks up from the tracks. Oh, that's a shocker lizard. Be careful.
Oh, well, that sounds incredibly interesting. I could probably gather components from it.
Do we know anything about shocker lizards? Is it behind us or in front of us?
Make
most
a
lizards-
nature roll.
Most lizards taste nice to eat.
You are
Let's
not
go
from this
poke it and
plane,
stuff.
so yeah, you've never heard of it, Milo.
But none. Okay.
Scour your mind. Yeah.
It's best we don't
Well-
deal with things we don't know about.
You can have at it if you want. I wouldn't know why.
Well, do they create electricity?
Yes, and they're horns, and they're like antennae. It shoots
Can
off.
you eat them?
Ah. They've been known to be hunts. They're dangerous enough that most people don't.
Are they
They're
big?
quite rare. About the size of a dog.
Do they bite?
No, they shock.
I mean, like, do they hurt a lot?
It feels like someone's burning your insides. That's
Fuck.
what I've been told.
I think that's a yes, Pinky.
Yes. No. All right. Let's keep going.
Rosy, can't you talk to them? They're dallying so much about this. I have no idea that they want to eat it, I think.
Oh,
Yeah. As you all look behind that rock, you see like some flies like buzzing about his ear to our little arcs of electricity shoot up and hit the bugs. And then you hear a as it eats them.
I'm not stepping close to that. Let's just continue on. Ignore that. We can find different kinds of food. Scud, not right now. We have to find shelter first. Then we can scout out and find food. Okay?
maybe on the way back, Pinky.
I mean, I could probably make a lightning rod out of it.
I'm down.
Okay.
We have a game. Who can pet the shocker lizard without getting zapped? My wife done it once. She got zapped so bad her arm went numb for an hour.
Your wife likes the shocker then.
Oh no. No, stop, Milo.
Yeah, she likes.
They got long tongues, haven't they, lizards?
She's a
Maybe
bit
it's
of an
something to do with that.
adrenaline freak.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
Hazim doesn't
let's-
get it at all.
Let's keep going, please.
Yeah, as you all quick walk, continuing through the canyon. This continues for about an hour. You see more of the lizards perched on rocks, basking in whatever little sunlight there is. As much like he said, they seem to be quite small. They have a pair of horns outstretched from their heads, and through it you see arcs of electricity run up the ends of them.
They look
Like
kinda cute.
landmines, Hazim guides you through them all, and like makes hops from foot to foot. As this is all going on, are any of you doing anything during the hour in the desert? How is everyone dealing with the desert? Because I imagine most of your characters have never been.
Milo is actively like annoyed that there's so much sand interfering with his gear. He wants to get out of here as soon as he can. However, there is this entity that's residing inside of him that is completely comfortable with the desert, being that the Dragon Empire is mostly desert, if I recall correctly.
It's more like Mongol steppe, mixed desert, arid, and like grasslands. Hence why the dragons have taken over that terrain, because there's not many places to hide when a dragon's flying.
He must be comfortable then from being from one of the deserty areas.
Go
Every now
ahead.
and again, you just see Scud's eyes kind of spark blue, and he's basically casting prestidigitation every so often to like give him nice cool breezes and cool down his cloak that he's wearing. But other than that, not much more.
Yeah, Pinky's probably quite at home here. You might see him once in a while lean down, grab a handful of sand, and rub it in his scales.
Yeah, as this is all going on, yet again you see Azim pause as he's like, "Look, there, be careful." As he points on the ground where you see water gathering, and like following where he points, you see the water slowly grow colder and colder until you see ice forming in this like trail.
What do we think made this?
A giant snow beetle.
Hey,
The
what?
snow beetle.
A snow beetle.
Hey,
Why would there be a snow beetle in the middle of the desert?
am I something getting lost in translation here? Snow beetle? Do you mean sand beetle?
No, no. Those are different. The snow beetle, it makes snow, drawing in other creatures, and then eats them.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, let's not go that way.
He nods.
There's probably traps there. Watch out for any pockets of snow. It means that the beetle's been vomiting up it nearby.
It is a successful hunter then in the desert, a snow beetle.
Yes, it uses the water and the ice to lure in thirstier creatures and then eats them.
He just like looks over at you.
It eats you feet first. My uncle went that way.
Oh no.
Is there any
Is it-
particular reason why?
How big is he?
I think they like watching you squirm. I don't know. I'm not an insect.
Let's
I mean,
ignore it. Stay
Yes,
clear from
please.
it as much as we can.
Yeah, as you cross around the corner, you see several dozen icy patches up ahead with small little mounds of snow, many of them not really melting too quickly in the shade of the canyon. As you all look around, in the distance on the edge of the canyon where it widens out, you see an enormous beetle, about the half the size of a school bus, pushing a giant snowball. That it seems to be like every now and again you see it stick out its like little proboscis and like lick the snow boulder as you see like this pouring slush come out from underneath it, almost like a spinneret from a web. Yeah, you see,
That one can be seen. That isn't the dangerous one. It means it's making its den. It probably is just eaten. The ones who are hiding, their shells are reflective, so it can mimic the terrain around.
Are we still walking along like this almost bridge-like construction, or is this just
That's more the top. That's more the top of the canyon.
Okay, so
You guys are down in it.
we're in the canyon, walking through the sand, and we see a snowy beetle, essentially.
Yeah, and several dozen snowy patches up ahead,
Okay.
like landmines.
Hazim, are you familiar with this kind of creature?
It's the snow beetle. I was just telling you about it.
Yes, but how do we maybe not interfere with its hunting pattern? I presume
Don't step in the snow.
Oh,
it's simple
It'll be easier
enough.
said than done.
Is that true? Why?
Well, isn't ice slippery? And they can disguise themselves quite well.
Ice can disguise itself in the heat of this desert?
Was he not listening when I went on about the shells?
I think he's just maybe taken by the whole, a snow beetle in the middle of the desert thing.
It's the opposite of what you would expect, really, you know?
It's unprecedented.
Truly.
Well, they're effective hunters. Plenty of man who's been dying of thirst have had their head ripped off or their feet eaten out from under them.
Is there maybe a
What?
long way around we can take to avoid these things?
He points up at the sun.
Yeah,
Well,
if you want, you can climb the canyon.
oh,
The hunting areas that's wide?
Well, they use the ice, isn't it? You guys are from colder places. You've never seen ice.
I've seen
Here's
ice
the
in
thing.
cold places, yes, because that's how it usually works. I've not seen it in an arid place like this. It is most peculiar.
You see,
You ask a lot of
you,
questions, don't you, Milo?
you see Hazim just
Hmm.
like send a shower of like dancing lights shooting out of his hand at one wall, and he says, "You ever heard of magic or monstrosities made from magic?" Like shakes his head, slightly incredulous. The world's the possibility for some of these creatures. I think you're thinking too rigidly.
Sure.
Well, this might be a problem for me. If we end up in combat, my bracelet is attuned to frost magic. Conan will be able to help, I'm sure, but I will be of no use if we need to fight these things. So I guess there's not much change.
As much as I want to see what one of these beetles tastes like we got to find the lady dwarf that we're trying to find, and she's ahead of us, and we're not catching up very fast.
Exactly.
You're right.
We should try and find a way to cross this snowy desert.
He nods. Just don't step on the snow and be careful where you step. There's a lot of rocks and gaps up ahead.
Can we see to the other side of the sort of snowy ice area? Like how much of a journey is this going to take up?
Yeah,
Is this
this
a
isn't
couple
so
hundred
much
feet,
like
or-
yeah. The landscape isn't so much like all ice. There's like there's big and small pockets of ice and snow like all over the place. You're guessing there's maybe, judging by the size of that big beetle rolling a humongous snowball that it's forming, you're guessing there's probably between a dozen and 2 dozen of these things hiding somewhere in the valley. As you peer around, you can see 1 or 2 of them like hunkered in their shells. Their shells have turned mottled and seem to imitate like an octopus the surrounding grounds. Much like a spider's web, they seem to be using the snow as like kind of like sensors for themselves.
How long will it take us to walk through all this area and get to outside of out of this canyon that we're in?
Maybe 5 minutes. Rosy is a few days ahead of you guys, irregardless, or weeks, judging from what Nazim has said before. So she's well ahead of you, irregardless. There's not much of a rush.
All right. Well, I guess Pinky's going to hop up onto Conan and start making his way into the canyon.
Mhm.
With all the patches of ice. I suppose this is our only option.
Oh, I don't know. If we were to jump into the canyon, would that get us where we need to be quicker?
You're already
Other
in the
than-
canyon.
We're
Okay.
in
Yeah.
the canyon and we've come across this now.
Sure.
I've got Tensor's floating discs, so 2 people could sit on that and have less likelihood of stepping where we don't want to step, I suppose. But
That'll be a bit of a balancing act to stay on it.
Is it?
I say, Hasim, you lead the way and we'll just copy your footsteps.
He nods. Try to do the best I can, but we usually wait these things out.
Wait a minute.
They move on, generally.
Okay, well, we can't wait.
How long would that take?
Few days.
Yeah.
They're
How would
hiding in
they-
here, in the shade. It's cool here. They generally go to the coolest areas of the desert. And he
May-
points at the snow.
Maybe we can make a cool area of the desert somehow.
They're preparing for night. When it's nighttime, well, you've all felt it. It gets freezing around here.
Oh, how wide is the canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about like 50 feet wide at its widest point. That's where you see like this guy is on like the other side of the wide bit,
And
rolling up his snowball into one of the corners.
And how high it is? Like, is there like
Like between 30 and 20 feet.
a 30 feet? I'll send up Milo too. As I send up the demon, then I'll fly up and I'll plop up myself up above instead.
Yeah, roll a d20 roll, make a luck roll.
A d20 roll?
Yeah, d20, let's see how lucky you are.
Fine.
Yeah, as you pop up beside it, you see a meat thing not too far distant, standing
standing in the rays of the sun. You see several others of them just hanging out there like stalagmites or like cactuses. They seemingly like waver and like kind of like flowers, as you see in the horizon. The sun move around. They slowly tilt like they're a flower in the same direction of the sun.
How far are they away?
The closest one is 100 feet.
Okay. And these are up on the ridge.
They're up over the ridge, yeah, on the plains.
I'm on the plains right now. Okay.
Yes.
And how far does the Snow Beetle area span?
It's about 5 minutes, a couple 100 feet.
How much does it look like?
About a couple 100 feet.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll plop back down, sending myself. That wasn't very effective. It seems there's some of those corpses nearby. It's really
the sun's near. They follow it.
You said it again.
You keep saying this.
Replace the word with nothing. He doesn't need to be this careful.
You are the worst guide.
Well, I'm the DM, so he doesn't say that.
But you should say
it. The sky over to help melt the snow away.
Hey, mimics. Sorry.
You see Hazim's eyes bulge. Like, are you insane?
No, I was joking.
So I'm like,
Pinky will move over to the side of the canyon where the walls are, and he'll take out a small piece of rope and attach his belt onto Conan, and Conan should have enough strength to pull me up and walk along the wall, as he does have a climb speed.
As you can go, wow, that's you sorted. Like, looks kind of speculatively at the path ahead of him. Yeah, Azim begins to creep through if you guys linger.
I look over at Pinky when he leaves, and I will make him half his weight to make his journey a little bit easier.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. As you all watch, Azim rolls a 25 on his acrobatics roll. He very daintily, like a ballerina, skips from rock to rock. You see him look down as he like moves along, like easily hopping from span to span, avoiding the ice as he almost dances around it. Clearing about halfway over, he like looks back at the rest of you and like waves you on.
How far does he clear?
Across. About halfway, and then he stops to turn around and waves
Every
you all
single
on,
30 feet it clears, I will send myself forward using my echo, like in his right behind him.
Yeah, go ahead and make stealth rolls or perception rolls to make sure you don't have like any gaps between yourself, like hovering in the air and like falling down to your feet, so you don't make any noise.
Sure. Stealth
perception.
Or perception?
Perception or stealth, yeah, because you're doing measurements to make sure you don't like appear a foot above a rock and make a clacking noise with your boots.
Yeah, sure.
17.
17.
17. Yeah, as he teleports across the way. That's Milo and Pinky. We look between Scud and...
God kind of looks around and shrugs, and then using his walking stick, he starts sort of trying to pad across carefully, following Hazim's footsteps as best he can.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make an acrobatics roll with advantage because Hazim is leading the way.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, they all go on without much interruption. They keep going, Rusty, leaving you last in the train.
Alright, well, someone's got to fuck it up for us. I'll just be doing the same thing. I'll just be trying to follow Hazim's footsteps best I can.
With advantage, acrobatics. Yeah. You do it. There you go.
19.
Yeah, we see him begin to hop along. Yeah. As you follow the other two, it isn't too much, and you guys are lucky as some of the patches seem to form a pathway, as you see gaps with sand in them, which you can thankfully walk on, as it seems that the Snow Beatles haven't made too much unviable terrain or too much ice or water that you could splash into. As finally, after 5 minutes of sweating and otherwise being nervous, you clear most of the ice fields and the strange, snowy environs of the Snow Beetles. As you leave them behind, you see Azim's teeth, like almost reflective like compared to his darker skin, like smile as he goes, "We're finally out. There it is." As he points to a set of ruins distantly on the horizon, maybe several hundred meters away from your current position.
Well, I'd say we did quite well there.
He nods. You all look a lot lighter on your feet than I thought.
So, our best bet is to the ruins, yes? So, it's not dally.
That's where, yeah, he looks down at the same tracks and like searches for a minute and he nods. She's still going this way. She'd at least have to pass by it, even if she's not going there.
Let's be careful and approach it with some care. You know, we do not know what hides in these ruins.
How long, roughly, has it been since we've woken up?
Like 18 hours, probably.
Since we've woken up, jeez, it's time for bed.
Yeah. You guys were in the plane originally. You went into town. You came back, and then you immediately rushed, heading to the portal. Yeah, it's been a long day.
We should maybe go find something to maybe. Did you say something?
Maybe we could find somewhere to shelter in the ruins, like.
It'll protect us from anything that's overshining us. What do you think,
We'll see
Rusty?
how safe they are.
Unclear. Let's maybe approach it carefully. Stay out of any line of sight.
Yeah, I mean, if there's place for us to, be stealthy about it.
I see large portions of walls that will at least lend us some sense of staying out of the line of sight, if you will.
Yes, let's make our way there then.
Do we see anything like bopping up about, maybe in the turrets above or in the doorways?
Whoever's leading the check, go ahead and make a perception roll as you stare over the remains of several of the structures.
I'm asking for it. I think I should, maybe, unless someone else is
Yeah, go
rolling. Of course.
Natural one.
Natural 1 plus 3.
Yeah.
I'm making it 3.
Staring over it, yeah, it just seems like the walls would conceal anything. Unfortunately, you don't see much. There is scaffolding, but it looks old or at least decrepit. Several of the scaffolds have fallen over. Either someone was excavating it or trying to rebuild it, and it didn't pan out. As you see several like errant flags like running from the building.
Oh.
Although you see no signs of people.
I basically see the picture. That's all I see.
Pretty
much. Nothing hidden. I think there's nobody watching out, so we can approach a bit more, or less conspicuously than we thought. I don't see any sentries, at least. Maybe steer clear of the line of sight, at least. But
was your sister particularly attentive?
He looks over at you, Rusty.
My sister, not really.
'Tis not a sister that I'm concerned with. I do not expect running into her there. We've dealt with snow beetles in the desert. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen here. I'd rather be a little bit more careful, if you know what I mean.
I'll head on in.
Any sneaking, or are you all just like march up?
I'll try to sneak at least.
I will make a perception check to see if I notice any traps or
investigation,
or listening out for sparking sounds from a shock lizard.
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation roll as you scan the area ahead as you slowly make your way up the trail. Yeah, as you slowly continue, nothing obvious. There's no tripwires in the path. There's no bugs or scorpions that you're going to step on. As you continue up the completely nearly sand-covered stonework, as you pass by it, you see several signs of an archaeological dig. As you see sections of it have been cleanly swept, you see tools lingering in the baking sun. Their wooden handles baking and desiccated where cracks have formed from the heat on hotter times. As you approach up to it. Are you being quiet about it, or no, Rusty? It sounds like you're just walking.
I'm just walking.
Yeah, as Milo creeps along some dunes, not too far behind.
You got a pretty good roll for Milo as well.
Come on, guys, let's come.
Are you guys sneaking, or are you just walking with Rusty?
No, I'll walk with Rusty.
I'm gonna sneak with Milo, so.
Mhm.
14.
Yeah, as you two creep up ahead, divorced from the others seem to move up quietly. Hazim seems like curiosity's got the best of him, and he's gawking at the ruins as Rusty looks for his sister, and Pinky, I imagine, is also most curious as you approach. As you guys do, you approach through a section where it looks like there was a cart, but it seems to have fallen apart again, either in the sun or someone's been jostling it, as it looks in a terrible state, as it seems to lead into an entrance. The entire place is covered in sand, but it seems some of it's been cleared away recently too, by the looks of things, Rusty. But much of it's been covered back over again, as no one's been maintaining it.
Where's this cart?
It's just here.
Well, I can see a creature token from where I'm standing right now.
Yeah, as
So
you
if
turn.
Rusty sees that, then I'll immediately.
Yeah, as you turn the corner, you see a decently large creature perched on the remains of what looks like a small, like, sand dune in the center of the courtyard. It seems to be like picking at something.
Paul has him over and pointed out to him. Do those things normally travel alone or in groups?
Yeah, his eyes go wide, and he's like, it means someone has perished here, or there are corpses. We call them ghoul bats. Or birds. He shrugs. I'm not sure what their relation is to
But they
other
act
creatures.
kind of like vultures.
He nods. Yes. They're one of the few creatures affected by the light.
Let's say to Pinky, there's some creepy undead vulture bat things. Can you tell the others where they?
I'll I'll look back at Milo and Scud, and I'll just mimic, I'll flap my arms and just make big jaws in front of my face with my arms. Hope they get it, and then point in the direction. I don't know how far back you guys are.
They're like 30 feet back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scud
I won't yell out.
100% doesn't get it.
Pinky's confident you got it.
I was gonna say you have the message cantrip, I think, don't you? You could...
I don't. I had to switch it out for mending.
No.
Yeah.
Well, are they aggressive towards living creatures, Hazim?
They don't like people bothering their food. That's what I've heard. There's a reason I got a job at the outpost, so I wouldn't have to be out here.
Well,
Okay,
maybe
well-
if we skirt around and try and find an entrance to this place, maybe we can follow the tracks. Do the tracks seem like they go inside of the compound?
Yeah, Hazim will take a knee and, like, examine again.
I think now they're trying to be sneaky as well, Scud.
He nods.
Well, here is where the cart ends. This is its final parking place. People have walked in and out of here, and a few more that go into the desert. But
He, like, peers about.
either there were dwarves or smaller creatures with the archaeological expedition, or his sister went in. There's the small prints go out into the desert to the west and to the east, although that could just mean someone went for a piss or they were finding a watering hole.
I think
Sneak up
that.
to the cart and see if there's anything remaining in the cart.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, as you peer over the cart, you see, what you can only judge as archaeological tools, as you see several picks, shovels, trowels, several sets of canvas and the like, and like one or two tents. They're still
Okay.
packed as best as you can see.
Looks like they brought provisions to remain quite a few nights. She might still be here.
I'll wave the others to come join us.
Did the two sneaky boys join them? Or
Dog.
no?
I'll
safe.
skulk in the shadows. What?
We're discussing a plan to go in.
We're going in, but we're figuring
Right,
out
that's it.
the best way.
Some kind of fucked up bird.
There's
What
another
I
one
could
south.
What I could do is, if we all I don't know, hide underneath the cart, I could instruct Conan to make a ruckus as he goes in, and perhaps while they're attacking Conan, we could slip by and get inside.
We want to clear this place so we can rest here, don't we? We don't want to just slip in and get out.
That would be
So
ideal.
we need to kill these things.
Does it look like the sun's shining in to this place? Is there a roof?
It doesn't appear like there's a roof as you look up. You see the sun shining from the west. It's again like almost looks like sunset.
Rusty, I'd prefer to take a rest indoors, if that's at all possible.
You know, there's some scaffolding and stuff we can find in there for some shade. I mean, we're in a desert. Where else are we going to find? This is an archaeological dig, so they'd have some sort of shelter here.
There's some tents in the car.
Or we could,
You're
use the
right.
tents.
You're right. Well, at the very least, if I sent Conan in alone, and they could probably rush it, and then we ambush these creatures as their attention is focused on Conan.
Are you saying that we should try to get a surprise round?
In terms of combat rounds, yes, that would be my
agree.
ideal scenario.
What the fuck is a surprise round? What are you talking about?
Well,
just give
you know,
Pinky look like, oh, this guy doesn't know.
the other night, me and Rusty were playing this fantasy game. It involves dice and board
Oh,
games and
is
stuff.
it called Meta Knight? I
Yes,
love that game.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't we just
Anyhow.
try getting a jump on him? I don't get what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, get the job.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I sent Conan in. They all go after Conan, and then we jump in and fuck them up.
It seems you have the vernacular they lack's good.
So in
who's
positions, I
drawing-
suppose.
Yes, yes, positions.
Right.
Okay, I'll go. Wait, no, stop, please. No, I'll go direct the attention, and you stay behind. Okay?
Wait, the bird has moved.
No,
It's not there
no.
anymore.
Yeah, as you turn
please.
around, taking the minute or two you have, you see that it's gone.
There was
Okay,
another one on the southern end.
I run in. You guys target them. Okay? No.
Alright, run in and scream as loud as you can.
Okay. Ah! As Milo starts running
Conan will
away.
follow. Conan will follow.
Yeah, as you run in, you see two of them just like kind of look in your general direction.
Clink, clank, clink, clank, clink,
Milo
clank,
starts
clink,
beating
clank.
his shields vigorously. A very uncommon sight from him. Come on, do it! Come here!
They do not do it as they just peer down and look at him as you hear him let out a.
Ah, piss off, shit bird!
They just continue to like linger, neither being scared off nor intimidated or
You-
annoyed.
You keep an eye on it. I'm gonna go check out where it.
I don't
sitting
think
earlier.
I don't think this, as Milo shakes it. I don't think they're an issue at the moment.
There's two more south. I saw it behind this boulder, so I'm going behind the boulder to see if I see.
I made
A
plenty
body.
of noise. They don't seem to be bothered by us. Maybe they're just friendly birds.
I'll take a rock and chuck one at them.
Roll initiative as immediately as you basically attacked it. As you
Yeah,
chuck a
well,
rock
we're-
up at that one.
We're not gonna take a rest with these things flying about.
Fuck no. Is there a body, a dead body here? But I'll turn around the boulder.
There is a skeletal hand. Also, that obelisk is got some really strange stuff on it, but I don't think you guys would really be paying attention to it.
No, probably not.
I was making sure that my sister wasn't laying dead around the outside this boulder.
Uh,
That's what I
It
was
is
doing.
it is too skeletal to tell immediately if it's your sister's arm.
Yeah, but so we get to that. Well, if it's skeleton, well,
Are they interesting to anyone of the, scholarly persuasion?
What?
Would they be
Use
interested in
English.
anyone?
what?
Would there be interest in anyone that studies archaeology or anything of the like?
Who, the birds or the bones?
No, the monolith you talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, the monolith's quite interesting. You don't have time to examine it because you're being attacked by birds that you just antagonized.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the birds earlier though.
It was a bit too far away. There's like detail and
Well, you
eye
will be now because
symbols.
one's going to come from
Is
the
it
back of your
this
head.
one that's in the middle of
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yes, you see symbology, pictographs, and symbols of the eyes. You're guessing it has something to do with the caste system, which is not unheard of in the Passions.
Okay.
But unless you have 2 or 3 minutes while being eaten by birds to look at it, then
Sure.
let us begin. Okay. Scud immediately. Pinky throws a rock at him. That seems to piss them off, as no amount of taunting and baiting seems to get their attention, but direct chucks of a stone at them seem to really tee them off. As you hear,
Scud kind of runs forward and then he sees the teeth on these things and gets a bit scared. So instead cast Bless instead of blasting him. So he will cast Bless at level 1. And I think, can he bless Pinky's contraption?
No, it is a construct, not a creature.
Okay, he will bless Pinky and Milo and himself then. Sorry,
yeah, the bird seem to like doesn't have eyes, so it seems to tilt to look at you, Scud, as if if you're the purveyor of aggression.
I then run back and use my bonus action to hide behind this strange obelisk. And that's my go.
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth roll. Let's try and hide.
Of course.
Pinky, and who was the last one that was blessed?
15.
It's everyone but me.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing still seems to home in on your position as you're not hidden from it.
Milo's got
They
blessed.
can hear you. And Milo is the last one. Rusty, at least the closest one, seems to be soaring towards Scud after he mutters a spell. It's loud enough that it gets these blind things' attention.
Yeah, I look down the ground, if there's just the hand, I quickly pocket it.
Yeah, just a hand. Maybe there's more underneath the sand, but you can't tell. The bird seems to have disturbed the sand. Either that or...
if it looks like that. Oh, okay. I'll leave it. I won't touch it yet. I'm going to hold a spell. I'm going to hold Sapping Sting until a bird is beside Milo.
Yeah,
And
that
I will
is
actually
Rusty.
move this side of the border.
Milo, it is your go.
What is summoned next to me?
I'm holding a spell for when a bird is next to you.
Oh, next to me. Next to me or next to anything that is me?
If a bird comes within 5 feet of
Okay.
you, will attack it.
I said what I said.
Okay, I'll move over here
So
and
many clarifications today.
no, there's some need because there's mechanical movement. I'll summon my as a bonus action. I will summon my echo next 50 feet away, which is over here, and then I will send it up next to the bird, and I'll make an attack from the echo's location.
Yeah, it's up 20 feet as the echo swings at it, hovering midair.
Yeah, I should see the demon try to slash down on top of the bird. I use two-handed for this, so no shield. 15 for 9.
That hits as it rakes along its wing, as it lets out a squawk as it goes as you hack up one of its wings for 9.
That is my go.
That is Milo. Hazim will take out his longbow, take aim and fire at the same one. He's like, no, there's going to be a few more. As he launches 2 shots up at it. One that misses, the other one hits it in its other wing for 8. As it pierces up into its wing, it lets out a squawk, topples off the end, and then smashes down onto the ground with enough force to permanently destroy it. Hazim will take on Scud's gesture, maneuver back, and take aim with his bow. That is his go, though, as a flood of ghoul bats begin to surge over the party's position, flying overhead, as 3 of them here will fly up to your position as they soar up above, coming up above the walls.
That sounds good.
So those are the ones that can't get to you guys this round. There are more that can. So these ones are all up 15 feet as they soar, squawking as you see these quite big crosses between a vulture, a bat, and a skeleton soar overhead. Another one soars up and over and dive bombs Milo, as he's the source of the yelling, as they cannot see the echo or hear it.
Will my spell now go off?
Yes.
That was sting. He needs to make a con save or it falls prone and takes damage.
Con save. It fails as it knocks it off course. It takes 1 necrotic damage as it's resistant, as it topples to the ground. It hops back up on its feet, though, for its remaining movement.
Movement left to do that?
Yes, they can move 50 feet flying.
Okay.
It'll hop up back onto its feet. The remaining one here hears Rusty cast a spell. Oh no, that's... Sorry, this one. And we'll soar down at Rusty, hovering 10 feet above the ground. 5 feet up. And then this one will soar up to here as it goes for Scud, who also made noise. And that is all the ones. 3 attacks, 1 at Milo, 1 at Rusty, and 1 at Scud, as they try and bite and peck at your arms and legs. So first one's at you, Rusty, as it squawks and tries to rake at you.
Miss.
For 12, missing. Then one goes for you, Milo, as it tries to bite at your ankles with its wicked teeth. I believe that hits as it gnashes down, piercing through your cloth.
Yeah.
Easily. For 7 piercing, can you make a con save as you feel a shiver of pins and needles go up from your leg as you see this wicked-looking black venom rip off its teeth?
I just managed to beat it. Freeze over and I'm like, no, godver.
Yeah, and the final one tries to bite at one of your ears. Go ahead.
That hit.
Yeah. As it bites into you for 6 piercing, nibbling on one of your ears. Con save. You saved.
Yeah, thank you, bless.
Yeah, as it bites one of your ears, quite nastily as you feel shivers run through your head as it hovers above your head.
I like my ears. What?
Yeah, Pinky, thankfully you haven't made enough noise. They all soar past you, attacking the sources of noise.
I immediately feel bad for being the one who instigated this. I'll order Conan to...
You should, you dick.
I'll order Conan to take a step towards the east, and I'll have him... Actually, I'll order him to move to the north, and I'll have him blast a fire breath at the thing in the air.
Yep.
So he needs to make a... Conan's sheet is here. Flamethrower. Boop. Needs to make a DC 13 dex save or take 10 fire damage.
It fails as you hear it squawk in pain as its wings catch alight as it shudders, burning for 10.
And I'll move to the north, just past Hasim, and I'll fire a ray of frost at the same one. For 24.
That hits as you blast into it. It freezes solid as it crashes to the ground and explodes.
5 whole cold damage, and I think that'll be it for me.
That is Pinky. Scud, that hurt. You managed to pull your ear away from it as it crashes to the ground.
Yeah. Scud is going to use his bonus action to disengage from this thing.
It's dead.
Oh, it's dead. Oh, okay. In which case, he will... Can he... He's going to move back to here, behind this thing, and he kind of jams his walking stick in the ground and mutters a few little words, and then some berries kind of grow out from the little bits, and then he just grabs them all with his reaction and stuffs them in his mouth. He's going to cast Good Berry. He just
He stuffs his face.
yeah,
First
so,
go.
yeah, he eats all of them, all 10.
Nice.
That's his
You
go,
feel
yeah.
so full.
I
That's
mean,
it,
technically it says a creature can use one action to eat one berry.
Oh, really? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, then he eats one. But anyway, and he's got 9 left. But there we go. That's his go. Okay, well, I got 10 hit points now.
Rusty, what the hell's Scud doing eating? One of them shatters beside. As it seems to take a nibble on him. As you see Milo also struggling with one as it bites onto his foot as he tries to stab at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to do point blank magic missile this one.
Yeah, all on one. Yeah, they spray out as tree magic missiles hit into it. It squawks in pain and is knocked back for a second, but seems to regain its footing.
6 damage total. And bonus action, I got nothing.
Yeah, that is Rusty as a... you thought that would die, Rusty. Milo!
I'll try
More of
to...
them are coming. One of them bites at your leg.
Ah, for fuck's sake! Ah! I'll try to slash into the one right in front of me. 18 for 8.
Yeah, you slash along it as it squawks as you bisect one of its wings.
Don't have any bonus actions that I can use right now. I'll move my Echo over to this one. Can't manifest it though. That's my go.
That is you. So this one's up 15 feet now.
Do I have an action stage? No.
That is Milo. Hazim will attack the ones going on Rusty, as you'll let fly 2 more shots at Rusty's foe. I believe, yeah, both hit as the arrows plunge into it, as they sprout from it for 5 and 7 for 12 damage. That's enough to kill it as one of them shoots through its skull, shattering it to pieces.
We're coming up to 1 hour, by the way, at the creature's turn.
Yeah. Why don't we pause it there for the ad break? Welcome.
Hello, we're back from a break, and there were no jokes made in the break at all. No jokes at all.
Nope, none.
Take it away, Itza, as you destroy us with your weird birds.
Well, let's see how well they roll. As we see the birds loom down with a squawk as these undead fiends, perturbed by Pinky's rock, seem to come shooting down like bats out of hell, and that they do look, as you see these horrid things swoop down at the party. One of them will, again hearing another spell cast, will go for Scud. He'll take the attack of opportunity as it does not hear the echo.
The Echo will take that.
It
Two-handed.
swoops down at Scud.
21 for 11.
It clips it as it squawks in pain. It kind of steers awkwardly for a couple seconds until it finally lands.
I have
next to
Sentinel,
Scud.
so it doesn't land next to Scud. It'll stay.
Okay, it immediately attacks your echo,
biting
it as your
Yeah.
echo disappears.
Bye, Echo. You did well.
The one at your foot will bite you along the legs, or try to, Milo. Missing, as it struggles with its injuries. The final soaring one will come down at Pinky, also hearing him cast a cantrip, as it swipes down at his face. Missing, thankfully, is for an 8 as it clutches at Pinky, but he manages to roll aside as it comes up short. Looking confused, Pinky, how do you respond as it tries to bite and gnash at you?
I will call over Conan as he click-clacks over to me, and he will do a flamethrower, so DC 13 dex save, where he takes 6 fire damage.
It fails as it sprays up into it for 6.
And I will do a Ray of Frost at it.
You are in melee.
Yeah, with the disadvantage. So that's a 13
That hits as it wings it.
for one cold
one.
damage.
Yeah, it wings it. As it grazes off one of its leathery wings.
Oh.
And I will stand my ground and end my turn.
Scud, one's about to come at you. It slices down and then awkwardly staggers as it bites at the echo.
This one here. Well, seeing him try and get towards me, I will raise my hand and fire a celestial blast at it. So let's see. For
That
20.
explodes on it.
10.
What does it look like as you annihilate it?
It just it hits it square in the body, and then which kind of like evaporates in the radiant light, and then the wings just kind of float down like sycamore seeds. And then I'm gonna run up behind here.
Your favorite obelisk.
Yeah.
Rusty, it seems like one's down. Another one remains at Milo as it snatches at him, although it's not having too much of a good time.
I'm going to fire bolt the one harassing Pinky up the top there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it
15
shoots
for
into
free.
it, grazing its back as it explodes across it. But this one's made of sterner stuff. As half aflame, it still squawks, struggling to attack.
And I'm actually going to step over here and give Milo flanking. For his attack.
Yeah, Milo, it looks confused as it hears someone else coming up behind it with its supernatural hearing.
I'll
seems-
send out as a bonus action my echo here and then move it over here. Seemingly flanking, even though it doesn't give me flanking. But I will try.
Does it give anyone flanking? Yeah.
No, but it will pretend, and then I'll slash at the one in front of me, two-handed. That's I also have a D4 and +2 for a total
That
of
misses as
14
it hops aside.
for
The
14.
flanking plus 2.
With the flanking hits.
Yeah, for
and you
7.
get-
Yeah, killing it.
That was all me.
Yeah, as I slashed in twain, I'll allow Rosy to blast the core of it as I sort of skewer it like a shish kebab. Take down the final one!
Yeah, Hazim will throw his bow into the sand, draw his short sword, and make 2 quick slashes at the one in the sand. One of them hits as he cleaves down at it. Just cutting its head off as it corkscrews through the air. The head gnashes open and shut a few times like a nutcracker, and then he just stomps on it as he looks down disdainfully as that ends the fight. At least that small flock of them is dead.
Well, that's one problem dealt with. Scud. As I rush over to Scud. Oh, my God. Are you all right?
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. And he starts picking the berries off of his staff. And eats the other 9.
His gut seems to expand as you look.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right
it's
then.
so full now.
Does he? Do you look pretty well fully healed?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Is anything loose that could be constructed in some kind of makeshift shelter in these parts?
I see a giant tent to the southeast.
Yeah, I was about to say you can make sand. Not very
There
good
was-
shelter now.
I think there was some tents in the car as well, wasn't there?
Also examine the monolith in the middle if I can.
Yeah. As you look at it, you look at this monolith, you see pictographs of the passions. You see a figure bowing before what looks like a celestial being with wings. The celestial being has a large maul in its hands and seems to point almost like at a miniature version of the obelisk in the same pictograph. Looking at it, you see several sets of colored eyes dotted around in a circular pattern, each one split up by color. You see eyes that look out made of a mosaic that are blue, light blue at the top. In the middle section, they're a green, and in the bottom section, they're a deep red.
Does this
Probably marking the tree casts.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say, does this coincide with the cast? But yeah, it does, I think, right? And there was
Yes.
a winged creature pointing down on the obelisk. with a
Yeah,
mole.
pointing at a miniature version of like this same obelisk.
Can I surmise what that means? Does it mean for me to hit it, or does it mean for me that's like they said that it's supposed to be this way? Like
Make
that.
an insight roll.
Yes, please. 22.
Oh.
It seems to merely be gesturing at its importance, almost like it's divinely blessed.
It's
I'm almost wondering, Milo, if it requires people of every caste to enter. I'm thinking that this might be a key to enter this place. Perhaps if every one of us touch it, I believe we have every 3 caste.
that is exactly what I thought when I inspected it with my mind. I'll
Is he
touch
having
it.
a stroke?
Well, you know, he's had a demon residing in him for a couple months, so perhaps.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Mm.
Before
Are
we
you
go
just
around
going to be
trying
snarky, or are you going to touch this thing? As I lean
You've
over.
got all 3 casts. Like points.
Before we go around
Just
trying to
snarky then.
activate strange obelisks we find in the middle of the desert, maybe we should do that after we've had our long rest.
He's probably right.
It might unlock a portion of a temple that we can safely rest in. I do not
Pinky,
very
you've
much
got a-
like resting in a place that is completely consumed by the desert.
Binky, you got a load of tools in your backpack. Do you have any small trowels or digging tools?
Oh, I have a mason's kit.
I touched the obelisk.
Want to help me dig out this skeleton behind this boulder here?
Scott
Sure,
touches the obelisk
uh,
just because Milo did.
That's
As
sound,
I'm-
but yeah.
As I'm leaning away, I'll also touch the obelisk. Yeah. Rusty,
Pinky's a
I'm-
dark air, Milo's a light air.
I'm a dark hair. Oh, we need Rusty.
I know you'd read me. That's
Um,
I'm the only lighter.
Is he?
Yeah,
Isn't
Milo's
Milo-
not light.
Oh no, yeah, Milo isn't. Huh? Yeah, as you all touch it, apart from feeling very close to each other, nothing happens.
No, I don't touch it. That's why I was away.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you said you wanted lighter when we started.
Oh, then
I
we.
thought he
I
was.
don't
You're
think
staying,
we.
with, you're staying with the mayor.
Yeah,
don't
I
think
was
we've
staying
got
with
a-
my... Sorry.
We haven't got a dust scare then, have we?
Unless Hazim is one.
Miss Hazim has purple eyes. Yes. He,
Oh.
yeah.
Like I said,
We'll
touch the
walk up.
fucking obelisk!
You're a serial complainer. That much is clear.
I'm torn now. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he'll put his hand to it. Nothing seems to happen.
Does
Ah.
Scud touch it as well?
Yeah. I touch it too.
How long are we meant to leave our hands on it?
As long as Milo
Perhaps
said.
if you...
Mm.
I'll channel magic in it. Rusty, where do you want me to put this shroud?
Well, help me dig this thing out. There's a skeleton with his hand sticking out.
It's,
The...
Oh,
might
the
just be a
skeleton, of
tome
course.
not the Mara, but the passion signifying the what our eye colors mean, I guess. It sort of looks slightly annoyed and pained. Nothing happening. Nah.
Sorry?
Unless,
Why
not
don't you
your
guys
fault,
check
don't
out
worry.
that? Why don't you guys check out that tent to the southeast and see if it's suitable for us to rest in overnight?
What
I mean,
tent?
I also have a tent. We have a tent in the bag of holding that we took from the
There's like a
troglodytes.
huge one down there.
Ah, don't troglodytes stink? I've heard about
Oh
them.
yes, oh yes, very much so.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
They're a problem
As I'll,
in the mountains, even out here. They spawn everywhere.
mm-hmm.
Is there anything
as I'll
interesting
lean
on this
down and-
skeleton that Pinky
Yeah.
and Rusty dig up?
Yeah, digging it up, you see it leads to a female arm, desiccated. You pull it free, as it is attached to a drow's arm. As you look at the slender, dead woman, she's
Any
covered in
jewelry?
sand. And
Yeah. I was just thinking. Any jewelry or coins or platinum swords?
make an investigation roll.
Oh, I'm good at that.
So am I. Do you want to take the
Oh,
lead?
that's
I'll
right.
assist.
Sure. So investigation with advantage. That's 23.
Yeah. Seeing that her hand was exposed, it seems that the bird cleared it away to eat at it. As you clear the rest of it is guarded somewhat by the sand that's covered over it. Maybe the sandstorm come true in the last week or two. You see that her other hand seems to be relatively intact. As you look over it, you see blank spots on her finger where clearly there was some rings. Someone has clearly looted the body previously. As you look out, you see a large wound in her midsection where she's presumably been stabbed or shot through with something. As these
How-
birds didn't do this.
How fresh?
A week, maybe 2, looking at it.
Rusty, do you think that maybe this drow was a part of your sister's party?
Or she was here prior and was killed by my sister's party. I'll not expecting to find anything, but checking anyway. I just check the wrists to see if there's any of the marks there.
No marks as you look at them. As the other two move up to the tent, you see a burnt out campfire covered in sand, several bedrolls and packs that have been dusted over by sand. You see the contents of several packs of rations spilled out in the sands. They've been picked over and eaten at by what looks like several dozen insects that are squirming in the piles of rations.
Any way of determining how recently this has been picked over?
Make an investigation roll.
I'll
Peer at it.
help, and while I'm helping, I'll be like, why would someone?
If you have
just leave-"
cooking utensils, you have advantage.
I do have cooking utensils.
Yeah, go ahead and
Hey.
make cooking utensils with wisdom or intelligence with advantage.
I will go with wisdom, I think. 21.
This food has gone off for about a week. These rations will be good for weeks on end, but for that amount of time for these insects to get into them, especially the maggots and how big they've gotten, Scud, it's been about a week. As you
This
look at some of
food
the
has been
meats.
matured for just the perfect amount of time, I think, Milo.
How long is the perfect amount of time?
Oh. Well, that's for me to decide, and it's right.
Very vague
but why
answer,
would-
but we are chasing someone at the moment. Is there any
Well,
way of you knowing
would
how
they
long
have
it has
let-
been?
Yes, like about a week, I think.
Hmm.
But like, why would they leave their tent here in like all their backpacks and stuff?
Looking through the tent, in the dusky light, you see the silhouettes of several chairs and a table. Milo, as you come up to the tent.
I'll move into the tent. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Maybe we can find
Immediately, can you make me a con save? As immediately you come into the tent, it smells fucking repugnant. Yeah. But thankfully, you managed to hold your vomit as you smell troglodytes rather recently. As you peer inside, you see 3 dead figures, 1 human and 2 drow. All of them have been tied to chairs and their throats have been slit.
Yeah, I'll move outside
They're
and
rotting,
tie
they're
a piece
rotting
of fabric
horribly.
around my face so I don't get bothered by it. You might not want to get in here. It's quite horrible. Let me investigate though. Then I'll head in and I'll look over their throats have been slit.
Yes, their
Okay.
throats have been slit from behind by the looks of it. As you look on the table, you see 2 of the figures are missing. One of them's missing 2 fingers that lies on the table. One of the drow. The human's missing 8 fingers and all their fingernails. As you move over to the last drow female, you see that it appears her hands are fine, as her throat was just slit.
Can I look at all of their eyes?
Yeah, they seem to be staring off in the distance. Their eyes have clearly sunken in the week or 2 they've been here, and insects seem to crawl around on their flesh, eating at them.
Oh, fucking hell. Looks like a mess in here, Milo. Looks like they were tortured.
There's nothing. Their fingers have been slit. Yes, they're not necessarily tortured. It seems like a stealthy approach, one of their assassins. But point of the fingers, their fingers have been sliced
Right.
off.
Like, if it was me, I'd have been chopping fingers off and asking questions, and I'd have killed the lady one, like, you know, to make the other ones talk.
Does she look tied down in any way, like an
Yes,
interrogation?
all of their arms have been tied to the floor.
Ah, okay, there you go. Yes, some kind of interrogation has taken place.
Not that I've ever like tortured or interrogated people like that. Just if I was gonna, that's how I would have done it.
I understand. Don't worry about it. I know you have Nightingale with you now. Can you call over to Drow? Maybe he knows who these are.
Yeah.
By the
I
looks of
got
your
sorry.
faces, I doubt Rosy's in there.
No, I'm sorry, Rusty. So I move out, I untie the mask. Just dead bodies. Azim,
what's that stink? Ugh.
As he pinches his nose.
I'm sorry. Could you have a look inside and see if you recognize any of their faces?
By the passions of mercy and death. What? Oh, did they torture them?
Presumably,
it.
yes.
Looks like they're trying to get information out of them.
Oh,
I recognize the human. I don't see many, in fact. Milo, apart from this one, is the only one I've seen in about a month or two.
Milo will pump his chest for a second as well as he second wins.
you say you seen Newman before? Was he with the dwarf lady?
5.
No, he was with the caravan.
Right.
That came through before. The last ones before Rosy.
These are traders?
Well, I thought they were traders. It looks like they're archaeologists.
So it looks like they set up camp. Maybe the dwarf lady and her people come across them, capture them all, and then interrogate them for some reason. I wonder what they were trying to find out. If that's
Is
what
there
happened.
anything at this tent down here? Any more dead bodies? Or...
Yeah, as you peer into the tent, no more bodies. It seems like a cache. It's less protective than the other tent. As you see several small crates and the like. The crates have all been like crowbar open. Several of them have cloth contents, and like you see one of them has a few weapons, but most of the good ones have been pilfered over. And you see an eclectic mix of weapons lying on the ground. It looks like someone switched out their bad weapons for like this camp's weapons.
Milo, you probably know weapons. Just see if there's anything useful keeping here.
I'll look it over. Not too much of an expert, so just know how to wield them. Yeah, I'll look over the weapons. Is there anything standing out?
There's a warhammer and longsword and 2 short swords.
Does the Warhammer look different in any way?
Just a very crude piece of equipment. Judging by the clothes the archaeologists are wearing, that doesn't seem like stuff of a quality they would bring. The weapon seems crude. It's just a big square block of metal and then a spike on the other end.
It doesn't look like something they would bring.
Not really, no. It isn't really...
Does it look old?
Yeah, it looks old and well used, the weapon lying in the sand. Same with the long sword and 2 short swords.
Oh, no, never mind. I thought maybe it would be somehow important to the obelisk, but no. Nah, just some crude weapons, unfortunately. I'll leave them in the sand. Let them sands claim them. We have found a place to stay, though, if we can get rid of the bodies. Maybe call over the others, Hazim or Scud.
I don't know. Is it if we'd like ditch these bodies outside? It might attract more of them like vulture creatures.
Then we bury
Maybe
them
we should-
like they deserve. Is what my intention was. If that is
Make
okay.
a fire, burn them.
You know how much oil is necessary to burn a body?
They're pretty dry.
Are they?
Yeah, they look dry enough anyway.
I mean, it will draw a lot of attention. We can burn them, if that's the custom here.
Azim shakes his head. No, smoke draws things.
Like I said, let's bury them then.
How many
Hang on,
tents
what the
are
hell's
in the
this thing
car?
here? Have we seen this yet?
Coming around the corner, you see
No.
a lamppost. You didn't really see it apart from a glance. A dim light, as you see a red light post hanging. It seems to be tilted off center, like the sand is like knocked it over halfways. It's only like hovering about like 2 or 3 feet like above the sand at the moment. As you look at it, you see a red gem implanted in the end of what looks like a almost like a bulb.
Some sort of light.
I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Where's Pinky, by the way? Why is he not here?
Are you ritually casting it or no?
No, spell slot.
Yeah, you see Pinky examining the corpse.
Yeah, as this is going on, would you allow me to take the wings off of these things?
Yep. So you
Okay.
pluck up 5 pairs of wings that are intact.
Okay. As I scurry on back to the group.
As this is going on, Rusty, it seems like there is definitely magic coming off of this, as you feel an aura of evocation magic coming from around the light. You also sense some very faint enchantment magic on... no, not enchantment. Abjuration magic on the post.
Abjuration, that's the one I didn't want to hear.
I'll look over at Hasim and say, is this a safe amount to have been exposed to the elements here?
What do you mean?
Like, the amount of time that we've been outside.
Oh,
Will it start affecting us soon?
the light? No, he needs to be close.
Oh, I see.
Direct light, not reflective. That's bouncing off the horizon, as he gestures.
Oh, so that means once night comes, we're relatively safe from it?
Night only comes when he goes away. There is no native sun.
I see. So we can surmise that he's moving away at the moment.
Hopefully. If we're unlucky, he could be here for months or weeks.
I see. Rusty. Oh, where's Rusty? Where's he gone?
What is Rusty doing as he learns
I had
what he
to
thinks is
refresh my
bad
page
news?
because
Oh.
everything was going on. Step away from there. I'm going to try to remove it from a distance. And I'm going to cast Mage Hand and float my hand over to it.
The post is probably weighs like 200 or 300 pounds. Looking at it.
No, I'm just trying to remove the gem.
Oh yeah, nothing happens as you try and pull on the bulb. It's solidly attached to the stone pillar.
I could send Conan in to try and
It's in there
rip it
tight.
out. Conan, dear,
Sure.
could you go and try and rip that gem out?
Conan moves up as it tries to move on it. It doesn't have any opposable thumb, so it tries to like shove at it a few times. Doesn't seem to, even though it can press more pounds or lift or push more tonnage, it still struggles with it as it doesn't seem to move it out of place.
Maybe a little bit of fire? Conan, blast some fire at it.
Yeah, the fire washes over it, making no mark whatsoever. As that must be the abjuration magic, Rusty. As they ponder that in the distance, Scud, you hear that. As you see a small puff of smoke.
I'm just going through the cart to pull out any tents that were in here.
Can you make me a investigation roll, Scud? As you're there. You're there for long enough that you might notice something.
14.
Yeah. As you're doing it, you see the sun getting further away, thankfully. As you look, you see tiny pinpricks of light emerging from the sand between these two blocks that almost look Stonehengean.
Sorry, which block? Sorry.
These two. West. Yeah, you see a slight blue glow coming from underneath the sand.
Well, I'm gonna go and have a look.
Yeah.
I whisper a quick word and I use Mage Hand to start shifting the sand around where.
Yeah. Using the mage hand, you shift sand out of the way. As you push it away, you see a identical blue light that you clear up, a post that is tilted over 90 degrees as it's fallen into the sand.
Blue.
As you look
Oh,
around it,
okay.
Scud, you see many of the footprints that we talked about when you entered the place. It seems as though Hazim mistook them for people dallying near the cart. And maybe that's why the cart was put here, to draw attention away from this post.
Oh, and maybe there's a green one somewhere too. Oi,
Oh, for the eyes.
yeah. Seeing that, I forget about the tents, so my attention span's not that great. Yeah, pretty much. Run back, Danny. Oh, Rusty, I found another one of them lampposts. This one's a blue one. Maybe there's a green one too, and that maybe we were wrong with the eyes for the obelisk. Maybe it's something to do with these lights.
I assumed it was just a light post. I mean, evocation, that's the light cantrip, and abjuration to hold it in there, but...
But why'd it be a different colour? Like, people always make lights the same colour.
Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to sit down in front of the obelisk and start ritually casting Identify. And I'll try to identify the obelisk.
And Scott's going to start looking around for a green light somewhere. Like up here, maybe, if it's somewhere.
Milo's
He
just,
begins searching in the sand.
Milo's just gently taking out the bodies from the tent and giving them a proper burial while this happens.
And Pinky's gonna go back and grab that warhammer and sword.
Sure. They are worth 1 gold each. They're not in great condition, and probably no one wants to buy them, apart from scrap metal.
Then Pinky will spit at them and leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clear whoever took them upgraded their quite terrible looking weapons. As this is going on, Scud, go ahead and make me an investigation roll as you comb the desert. While this is going on, Rusty can easily get his Identify done. Go ahead and ping Identify. See if you might learn anything.
I might use... Oh! 20!
You
choose one
intimidate
object.
the sand with a 23.
Oh, damn it.
What's your...
It would be
Yeah,
19
nat-
with my
the nat-
investigation.
Yeah, the nat 20 still stands. But,
It's 19. It's 19.
But in 19, you confirm that there's definitely no light to the north of the camp.
Okay.
So that much becomes clear. It takes you about an hour, though, Scud, of sifting through the top layer of sand.
Maybe down the other end then.
Rusty, reaching out a hand and pressing it to it, after 10 minutes, you see that the obelisk is meant to identify 3 different colors of light. When the 3 different colors shine upon it, it will light the way to the burial settlement.
Have you figured out how this thing works yet, Rusty?
It requires the 3 colours of light to be pointed at it.
Well, if it just needs the colours, maybe we can just make the colours. And I cast prestidigitation to make a little green light appear.
Yeah, you cast a green light on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you do so, you see all of the green eyes in the circle around that begin to glow like they're staring outwards into the desert. As this is going on, Milo, can you make me an investigation roll as you drag the bodies around the tent? Yeah, you see a little mouse peer up at you and kind of skitter around the human's body. When you begin dragging it, it falls out of one of its pockets and like hunkers down, stares up at you.
Oh, what?
Startled.
Hello? I wave at it.
Yeah, it peers at you and kind of ratatouille waves at you back.
Oh, are you sentient in some way? I've heard of creatures like this, and I sort of hunker down, meet it at eye level. Hi, I'm Milo. Can you tell me what happens here?
It looks at the bodies, looks at you, and then snuffles and looks at your sword.
I reach out my hand, sort of allowing it to tread upon me if it wishes so.
Yeah. It taps its tail on your hand and then scurries over into the sand inside the tent and begins to dig at it a little bit. It then stops and looks at you.
I'll follow it and I'll start digging in the spot where it starts to dig.
Yeah, immediately a foot under the stand, you find a hastily buried coffer.
Oh, very useful, little friend. I'll reach out and take out the coffer, and then I'll
it crawls up your arm and jumps into your pocket.
I'll get like a ration and like feed it to the little critter, and I'll look into the cask.
Yeah. Yeah, as you look on the casket, you immediately find a piece of parchment, like half buried in the sand. Most of it is smudged, but you immediately make out the words in Iron Speech. Hostile raiders, like smudged over.
Well, that explains something, doesn't it, little Charlie? And I'll look down.
The mouse just eats the food, just like looks at you.
I'll continue reading.
As you open, hostile raiders battling with the mercenaries, losing. It's very hastily written. Burying it here. If you find this bad beneath it.
Oh, the grammar is
Assuming
atrocious.
that, assuming something bad must have happened. Yeah, you look over the chairs. Yeah, it certainly did. That is where the letter ends.
What was the letter? It was a hostile raiders.
This is on top of the coffer.
Does it look like it was written with like someone's toes or something? Like maybe some paint smudges or ink smudges?
It looks like someone had less than 30 seconds to write this and bury it.
Okay.
Yeah. They writ how the most efficient way humanly possible, basically.
I'll like reading the article, like sort of gently patting my coat to decide where little Charlie's heading. I'll head out of the tent and sort of like look for the rest. Guys? Oh, I see him.
Oh, you found something. You see him like poking at the fire and like going over the little sleeping bags.
Yes, in my well, I've made a friend, and I'll sort of like blop out little Charlie.
Mouse? What's that doing here?
Hanging
Scott
out.
immediately pulls out his cooking knife.
It seems reasonably intelligent. Scott, this is not for eating. I'll give you my rations.
What about if we get really, really hungry?
Well, maybe then we start with you, since you have the most fat of all of us.
I'm very skinny and stringy, but
you think a rat is less skinny than you? Silly notion.
Depends.
However, let's not talk about eating stuff immediately. Little weird. When I was looking around in this tent, the rat pointed out that there's something underneath, and I found this. And I show them the parchment. It says that they were attacked by raiders. I don't think we should stay here for too long, if we can manage it. Seems
Unless the raiders were Scud's sister. Or Rusty's sister, I'm sorry.
I hope it weren't my sister. You don't want to meet her.
Oh, man.
But
It
Rusty
occurs
might
to me
figure-
that we should know more about each other.
Rusty might have figured out how to work this obelisk thing. It's something to do with the lights.
Oh, there is? Can I do anything?
Oh, I
Well,
don't know.
that
if it's gonna
depends. Do we
need
want to sleep here first?
Oh.
That's adorable.
Yeah, you're not eating this.
Well, we'll see.
I've
So crunchy.
I've only known Charlie for 1 minute, and I'm already prepared to die for him.
Yeah, you just see Azim look at the rest of you. He's like, you lot don't have the best of luck with women.
What? Why? What?
His sister sounds horrible, and his sister's going on a rampage.
Oh no, my sister's just normal, normal
Yeah.
goblin sister. She tried to kill me several times. I've tried to kill her. It's just how it is, We're
I have
typical
two.
family.
Same. I have two sisters. One is a teacher as well, and one is a nurse. Doing quite well for themselves.
My first wife, she gets along quite well with me. Second wife can be a bit, like tilts his head, bit on the wild side, but she's going through that period of her life.
I was an only child.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've got a brother in me, Pinky.
Oh, that's so sweet. Actually, the
my hand on
thing
his
that's
shoulder.
in you, I really would not want to call my brother. So,
Fortunately, that is not me. That is someone else.
I-
What?
I-
Well, Like the thing in you
Okay,
is someone else. You know, you never know what's inside of you. We haven't seen it yet. But yeah, okay. Raid is coming. It seems that we have a means of working this monolith. Maybe we should try and get something to do out of it before we rest, because I don't want to stay here too long. I point at the throat slit people that are sort of half in their graves. I don't want to end up like that necessarily.
Pinky, do you have a way to create red or blue light?
I have a shiny shield. Let me just see if this works. So I'll come over here and I'll point my shield so that it reflects the red light from over here into the shield and towards the obelisk, and see if that works.
Yeah, you're kind of getting it. It takes a bit of finagling, and finally you get it, but you're gonna have to sit still as you see the lights, the eyes begin to glow a
I think I
delicate
can make.
crimson.
You
I
do
think
do
it
the
might
green
work.
one again, Pinky.
Yeah,
Sorry, Oscar.
prestidigitation will work.
I can use it. I can do like a couple of them, I think, and I'll like kind of make 3 lights, different
Yeah.
colors, the 3 different, like the red, the blue, and the green, as close to the obelisk as I can,
Can you do
Hmm?
more?
and have them. Yeah, you
I
can do
think
it
you
up to
can
3
do like
times.
fireworks.
If
kinda
you
like
cast a spell
fireworks.
multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a
Oh,
time.
up to
Yeah.
3. Perfect.
Prestidigitation is really powerful.
Oh, cool.
As you light them all of the lights glow as you see you hear a stone scraping on stone sound as you hear it as extending out of the stone you see a small moon appear. Out of the moon a light begins to shimmer and point to the northwest
Well,
Yeah, similar
that's
to
right.
into a
traffic.
series of foothills.
That's where we came from, the northwest, isn't it?
Can I use my cartographer's kit and map out where it would be pointing so that we can
no
sleep
check
here?
required. Yeah, if you have the skill you're able to make a note to keep you on course. Yeah.
Let's see where
Not
that
sure where
leads.
this ends up, but it seems to point in that general direction.
I just
So
go
now,
20, 25 feet out of the ruin site in that direction, and to see if there are tracks headed that way.
Looking over, it seems to be sandy dunes. As you peer out ahead, you see dunes and wind buffeting the areas ahead as it's nearly completely level. On the other side of it, though, is a series of hills, and it seems to drop off as it seems to rise and then drop sharply onto a plateau further down as you can't quite see over it.
Are there tracks headed in that direction? Like, do we get a sense that...
The sand seems to cover over it too much as you can't see any way that tracks would linger.
Okay.
do we
As,
want to
as this-
rest here?
Yeah. As you all look on, Azim points to Milo's hand and says, "You gonna open it, or are you gonna keep us in suspense?"
Yeah, I was thinking about
What?
that. The
coffer.
Yeah.
You still
Okay.
haven't opened the coffer.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I'll put it down and like, get around, and I'll open it up if I can.
As Milo does show and tell, you all ooh and ah, or you would if it wasn't so mundane, as you find a bunch of letters and notes and a few scrolls, like stacked on top of each other.
Well,
I
it's-
ooh
must
and
have been
ahs.
important.
This is very important to me. I'll start reading through the letters.
This will take a little while. It's about an hour of writing. Immediately you see like diagrams of representations of these ruins, along with preponderances of like archaeologists, as you see like worship site, ancient passions temple, seat of royalty, ? Like several different like talking points and like a diatribe between 2 different sources that appear to have been writing on this piece of parchment as they note their thoughts along with what they found. Seems to be quite in depth as there's a lot to go through, and a lot of them seem to be off the top of their head. The site started research about 3 weeks ago, thereabouts.
And what's the latest mark?
The latest piece of writing is 6 days ago.
It hasn't been too long. It could have been your sister, Rusty. As a sort of give a concerned look over to Rusty, who did this to them. I don't understand why, but it could have been her. What were some notable places in the diagram or the blueprint of the building?
They all appear to be about this site, although the final remarks state that we've activated the obelisk. We're not sure where it leads, but we're going to send Alhim with a few of the mercenaries to follow in its wake. I believe it's some kind of hidden burial site. We're going to push over the pillars for now, in case anyone tries to follow an expedition. This could really be a find we've been looking for. The nature of the drow and how they emerged on this plane when there was no evidence beforehand. This is the most ancient site we've found so far. And that seems to be the last dictate on the piece of paper with the rough sketches of the site.
Seems this place was one of the most ancient places of your people, Hazim. Potentially one of those where you arrived to this plane.
We have a lot of old stuff, yeah.
They seem to think you do not hail from this place originally.
You seem like nonchalantly blink. Yeah, it seems about right.
What do you mean?
I
We
don't know
don't
about
look
you,
like
but
any of the other races, or not close.
I
He gestures at his dark skin.
I don't fancy trekking across the desert again unless we add some food and a bit of a kit.
Yeah, as you guys are talking, Pinky will be in one of the side rooms. Even though there's no ceiling, he'll use his mason's tools and his pittons from his explorer's pack, and he'll begin to form like a tarp around one of the smaller rooms as a ceiling, and then rip off some of the other tent parts and use them as doors so that they block some of the entrances, as he makes kind of like a makeshift room to at least keep them out of the sun and out of eyesight.
Yeah, I'll sit in a corner that I have equal a vision of both sides, and I'll hang out with the little Charlie, if he still wants to hang around, the little mouse.
The mouse is asleep as you look it up.
Oh, I'll just gently put it back in the pack and fold a little bit of fabric over it so it doesn't get disturbed. It is absolutely adorable. Look at Pinky with tears in my eyes. I've never had a pet. I was never allowed one in the dorms. This is...
Actually, hold still. As I take out my book and I sketch in the image of little Charlie.
Yeah, I'll hold it like this. Like a proud dad. Big smile. It's like half of his face sort of molded into a frown. The demon doesn't like it too much, but I like him, and I'll protect him with my soul.
It is. Do you not find it completely unorthodox that a small rat mouse thing just came right up to you and started being friends with you? Is that not suspicious to you in any way? Not that I want to take away from him, but...
I would say so, but it has happened to me so many times before. Some of my colleagues always called me the Disney Prince. I don't know what it means, but yeah, I've had little goldfish. They always looked at me with some interest.
Yeah. Rusty, you have the spell. There's no need to check. It is a familiar from a wizard. You immediately know.
So I've always felt like animals just come to me in some way, you know? I think it's my demeanor that really settles them down in some kind of way.
Sorry, just a bit better, Gaby, but the thing, you and Pinky and Milo both will forgive Scud for burning down shops and towns. But if I eat this mouse, I get the feeling I'll be dead.
I will eat your face, yes.
Oh, dear.
Well, everyone mark an inspiration as you at least begin to wind up your exploration of these ruins, whether to rest or continue exploring or look over the notes. We will take our long break here for 10 minutes.
as we return to the arid bussy of this desert. Take it away.
Yeah, you see Hazim look over and he's like, "I've never heard of Oceania, but okay." As we see the party huddled in their little hut that was made by Pinky,
Yep.
Milo petting the mouse, looking at it adoringly, while Scud looks at it hungrily. How do you guys proceed with the documents at hand, or your rest, whichever you proceed to work on?
I'll look over the documents as the rest takes a rest.
I'd be interested in those documents as well. So
Sure. So yeah, on your watches, each of you go over the document. Can Scud, since you're hungry, why don't you make me a D20 roll to see what happens during this long rest?
A 1.
Nice.
Mhm. Yeah. During the rest, as you're all settling there, we see the time pass as nothing actually happens of note.
Just as well, because I don't think we set a watch.
Yeah, we could just roll randomly. It doesn't seem like anyone was picky. The sun does not set during the entire time, which is kind of strange. It's almost like you woke up. Those of you who are sleeping, it's almost like you wake up at dawn, but in reality, the sun just hasn't set at all.
Can we rewind just a little bit to just before we went to bed? As we're kind of all huddled up together real close, Pinky will look at the group and just say, it occurs to me that we don't know all that much about each other. And we're spending a lot of time together. I'm wondering, let's start with you, Scud. Where do you come from?
Well, that's weird. No one really ever wants to really know about me or where I come from. Or
That's not true. I asked you in the first time we met. And then everything started to light on fire, and I tried to defend you, and then you betrayed me, and then we are here, basically.
in his head, Rusty's like, "This is the first time I agreed with Scud."
I'm from Laplace, like the jungles. Like it's real far to the southwest, and I had to come up here. Like, well, a couple of reasons, but I suppose the main one was because of Nightingale in my head. Like, but yeah, I like it there. I had a good life there, and then she come along and fucked it all up. So I'm just trying to get rid of her, so I can go back to being like a shaman and like take my rightful place. Like I was gonna be like clan leader, head shaman, one of them things. Like I'm Booyah bloodline. That's why I can do all the magics and stuff. And so is my sister. So like it's between me and her, which is like, why we don't get on so well.
Right, so a little bit of a sibling rivalry.
Yeah, could say that.
And then Nightingale came along and you got confused about where you stood and just decided to go on walkabout?
Well, it's like Nightingale tries to make me do nice things, like what people think is good things for people. Help people, or stuff like that. And that don't go down too well in my tribe. Like most of the time we fuck over other people, like humans and stuff like that. Maybe hunt them if they come into the jungle. Maybe eat a little one or two of them, something like that.
One of those Mara tribes I've heard about out in the deserts.
I wouldn't know, but well, yeah, you just don't like. Well, Tongue Tree Clan is what we are. You don't really want to come wandering into our part of the jungle unless you know who we are or you've been invited. Or you can look after yourself. Let's say.
Right.
It won't end too well for you, but I'm not really welcome there anymore. At least not for now.
Do you mind if I ask why? I mean, if you were poised to take over the tribe,
Well,
is it solely because you did good things?
Nah, it's It's is it complicated? Well, like I said, it's me or my sister that stand to like take over from my gramps and become the next like chief booyard, head shaman, like. But and Scud kind of looks around mischievously. It's like, but you can't become head shaman unless you got staff of the booyard. And he holds up his walking stick, which is what I got right here. so,
Ooh.
so until they find me and get this, no new head shaman, no staff of booyard for my sister. So
Oh, how clever.
yeah, they didn't see that coming. But it does mean they might be looking for me. Just maybe I should have told you. Yeah. So if you see any goblins coming over the hill on like wargs or spiders or anything like that, yeah, you might want to do one because they won't be wanting to talk. Yeah, that's me.
Well, thank you for sharing, Scud.
It's all right. I've never had to do it before. I quite enjoyed it. Is there anything else you want to know?
I'm sure we'll learn much more of you as time passes. But what about you, Rusty? I mean, we're all kind of on this quest to find your sister, but what came before?
Rusty's sort of not being really saying anything, but laying to the side on his back, just fiddling with his pearl. It was pretty boring before now, I suppose.
Okay, next
Now
person.
was the
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd finished.
I was the first born in the family to ever be a light heir, and so that came with all the treatment that you'd expect. My parents saw it as a great sign that I was meant for great things, and so that's when I was first sent out to study magic at the Arcane College. Didn't realize at the time, but my parents ended up basically going into debt and almost bankrupt themselves just trying to fund the place. So that's why I was only there for about a year and a half before I ran out of money.
Well,
Came
they
back,
must have
started
cared
helping
for
out
you.
with the shop. And then one day and then about a month after that, my parents fell ill and passed. My sister and I ran the shop ever since. Until, she left, and now this is all happening. But
I'm sorry about your parents, Rusty.
he just doesn't really respond. It's quiet for a while. That's why I need to find my sister. I made a promise that I'd never let the same thing happen to her.
Funny, innit? You want to find your sister. I fucking hope I never see mine again.
It's a
What
bit
about
of
you, Pinky? You seem,
theatrical irony, yes?
You seem very curious about everyone else, Pinky. What about yourself? Where'd you get the name Pinky from anyway? It doesn't really sound like
Like a
general
name?
birth name.
No, it technically isn't a name. It's more of a title. Where I come from, it's a tribe of Dragonborn I was born into. There's this tradition every 100 years we're visited by a great dragon, and this dragon mates with only a select few in the town. And many things are expected from the progeny of this dragon. And when I was born, you see, there was this grand celebration. It was supposed to be something amazing. And then when I came out, I was, let's say, a disappointment. as I'll shrug off my backpack and I'll take off my armor and I'll point my malformed wings at the party. This is only one of the defects I was born with.
So you don't look
I
like
was
no Dragonborn I ever seen.
no, certainly not. I was born a kobold.
I thought it
Which
was
isn't
because you were a dark hair.
well. That's the thing. The fact that I was a kobold doesn't seem to bother anybody, but it was mostly because I had physical deformities, and on top of that, I was a dark hair, which was not common,
Nothing wrong being dark.
being the offspring of a greater dragon.
Seems
Um,
horribly cruel kind of society to live in.
Well, it only gets worse. I mean, not only was I shunned by the tribe, but so was my mother for having birthed such a disgrace and disappointment. And so I was maltreated, my mother was maltreated, and then my mother felt like she had let down the tribe. So in order to regain some of her prestige within the clan, she didn't have a choice but to mistreat me. So I found solace in reading books and doing my own thing. And then at one point, when I got old enough, my mother simply came up to me and said, I've grown weary of seeing you skulk about. I've gathered a few coins. And she shipped me off on a skyboat. And I've been trying to find my father ever since. I want to prove that I'm not a disappointment and that I can be more than what I seem.
And how'd you come to be living in the Casting Dam trash pile?
Well, once I got off the boat, I had no idea where I was and what to do. So I tried to find employment. I could not. However, I did find a wonderful trash yard, as people called it. I refer to it as my land of treasures, as I do not see anything as trash. I see it as opportunity. So I was working on a construct that would allow me to fly to distant places, and it was sadly engulfed.
How did you learn about like all the things you know when it comes to like all the contraptions and?
Well,
things that
you see, as much as a disappointment as I was physically, mentally, I seem to have at least inherited the intelligence of a greater dragon, is how I see it, anyways. So I was fortunate enough to have kept that aspect.
Well, you're lucky you weren't born a dark dwarf. They don't live too far off, and they dash their dark-haired children on the rocks.
Oh my god.
He nods. Yes, the
What the
passions
fuck?
have truly abandoned them. They're Amara worshipping.
You Hoomies just judge everyone, don't you? If it doesn't work by your society and your rules, it's instantly bad, you know?
Not a
Sometimes you
human.
gotta...
Not human, clearly.
See Azim also looking like I'm a human. What?
Speaking of humans, how about you, Milo?
What about me?
That's what I meant, Milo.
Shh,
Sorry.
sorry. Charlie's almost asleep. What is the question?
Oh god, he's talking to the rat.
I'm talking to you too.
You
My
know,
heart breaks from your
Oh, to
story,
us.
Pinky. Yes. It's
Oh
heart-wrenching.
no, it's fine. I've gotten over it. But I mean, there's a lot of animosity between myself and my mother. I kind of wish I never see her again. I truly do wish I never see her again.
Sounds like you're not over it, but that's okay.
I'm certainly not.
No.
What about you, though? Take
I-
my mind off of things.
Oh,
Tell me about yourself.
I'm afraid I'm horribly boring. I'm just a teacher, really. He smiles a bit uncomfortably. What is it you wish to know about me? I teach at the Start University. I was just in the village by chance, really, teaching the current leader of the village. That's really it. Not that much interesting about me, unfortunately. I'm tenured at the moment. I did study some minor telepathy and stuff like this, but yeah.
So Milo, if you had like a good gig teaching someone, it sounds like pretty.
It was lucrative, but I never really did it for the money. It was always the message that mattered most for me.
So how come you ended up in Casting Down with the rest of us, like?
No, I was sent there.
Oh, okay.
It takes a second. The board didn't always appreciate my styles.
You got fired, didn't you?
I think he did. Oh my.
I certainly did not. No.
Okay.
Tenure. As a small
Inside
project.
check.
Sure.
But like, how was your insight? 17.
He looks uncomfortable, but he doesn't seem to be lying necessarily.
Right.
It doesn't sound. It doesn't. I imagine it doesn't sound like that's everything.
No,
but,
he's
smells
certainly
like the truth.
admitting. Yeah.
He still might be ashamed of the reasons, but
Mm.
specifically, maybe not fired. Specifically,
They sent me away for a second to make sure that I could explore the countryside, the rich countryside, and Casting Dam was one of the first villages I arrived, and I had some
You're in the
familiarity
Casting
with
Down
it.
region. The town was Ezerat.
The Azerat town. I'm sorry, the names sometimes confuse me. I have dyslexia. I know I'm a teacher, but it sets me back from time to time, but not as much, fortunately. It is difficult though, experiencing this newly found spirit that resides in me that is so different than I am. Have any of you experienced anything like that? How does Nightingale treat you, Scud?
It's like having a real strict parent who can make you do things you don't want to do. Like sometimes when I want to do something or it's hard to explain. Like, she'll make me say stuff sometimes. Like, this is why I had to leave the tribe, because my gramps picked up on it. He's the chief booyard right now. And so to take his place, me or my sister have got to kill him. Like, sneaky like. And I've tried a couple times, but he's a clever, sly one, he is. But he's picked up on things. He's picked up on me saying nice things to people, or, like the last time we had, a shaman initiation. Like, you got to generally capture someone who's got power. There's a big ceremony. You eat a little piece of them and get their power. And I was like, sort of started raising questions like, should we really be doing it? I don't care if we do it or not, but Nightingale says that's wrong. And then she's making me say that it's wrong. My girl's picked up on this and can't have no chief booyard shaman who's thinking things like that. So I had to do one. But like I said, I can't have my sister taking over when I'm gone. So that's why I took the chief staff of booyard with me. So once I get her out of my head, I can go back, make things right, take my place, beat my sister. Yeah.
I, for one, think it was extremely clever of you to have taken the staff.
Well, I think if you've all noticed something about me is I am extremely clever.
Yes,
He says that with a straight face.
I mean,
You're a quippy
I have a quick
little
question
lad,
for.
yes.
Quick question
You all
for
have
Itza.
interesting backgrounds.
As Rusty's laying there, just brainstorming about and thinking about everything, Is there? He knows the find familiar spell. Is there a way to figure out from the familiar itself who is the owner of said thing?
Speak with animals.
But it would just be to ask them. It wouldn't be like there's no magic. Like identify wouldn't tell you or anything like that.
Not really, no. Actually, identify would work.
It would
For
tell
seeing
you.
Yes, it would tell you who casts a spell because it is a magical animal.
I'm just wondering who it is that's been listening into all of our information.
I mean, that's a very fair point.
If they're within a certain range.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Can I see that mouse that you found, Milo?
Oh, it's sleeping at the moment though. I called it Charlie. I don't know. It just fit with the big ears and everything.
I think we should call it Mars.
Are you currently holding it, or is it like off to the side in like a bed or whatever?
It's in like a little pouch that I have
Like on you or next to you?
on me. Is there something wrong, Rusty?
I've just got a feeling that. No, he reaches into his coat and pulls out Sheila.
Hmm. I don't. Is there something you want?
I don't think it's a natural mouse.
Oh, it's probably a familiar.
And you know what I can do with my familiar, yes?
I've heard of the spell, yes. Some of my students studied it. I believe you can allow it to deliver things for you. It has some kind of magical connection to you. It's a good news thing, because I presume that whoever little Charlie belongs to is still alive at least. That's a positive.
What you do with your familiar when you're in your tent all alone, Rusty, I think you should keep between you and your familiar.
Would I know it's a... If I die, would Sheila still hang around?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. May I just
Look at
cast
Rusty
a
like...
spell on... May I just cast a spell on Charlie real quick? Just to see if I can discern who exactly... the
what are
owner
you planning
is
to do with
was.
Charlie? I don't like this.
I just said.
Which spell? I know the spells. You can just tell me.
I hold out my pearl.
Is this supposed to mean anything to me? Tell me what you're going to do.
I'm gonna identify the rat to see who it belongs to.
I believe it's a gerbil actually, but yeah, if that leaves it unharmed, I'm sure that's fine. And sort of like open up the pouch as it rolls out on my hand. It's sleeping
I grab
still.
it.
No, don't grab it. No, you don't have to touch it. You can just like stay
I
close.
do have to touch it for the spell.
Okay, you can put your finger on it, but it's sleeping. Just let it be, okay? It's done nothing wrong. It helped us.
This is gonna take 10 minutes. It's just let me just.
Just
God damn.
do you have to touch it
Milo,
the entire
just-
time?
Just let him cradle the little mouse. It's fine.
Okay,
He's
just-
not going to eat it.
Okay, just be careful with
I
it.
won't
Rusty.
eat it.
Don't feed it to Sheila. I know they eat rats and the like.
Yeah, you can hold Sheila while
No, I'm
I'll
completely.
trade.
No, thank you. No.
Sheila starts crawling up your leg.
I'll crush her.
I'll crush your rat. I snap my fingers and Sheila disappears, but I will just
Appreciate
cradle the mouse. I'll be like holding the pouch with the
I
rat
appreciate
inside.
Rusty. It's not like I
That's
followed
the
you
thing.
here to help you.
And then
Fucking.
I will touch it as little as I can for the
Good.
spell.
The hog's
As
stare at you.
as the ritually cast identify is going on, or are you spending a spell slot?
Ritual.
Okay. As the ritual is going on, I'll ask the same of Hasim. Hasim, what about you? How's your life been?
Before this happens, how
Well-
long has it been by now? Has this been a short rest?
Yeah, you can all mark a short rest for your little round.
Grand.
Okay, yeah, that's.
I need
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff for me.
Azim goes, before his sister came, while I was staying with my first and second wife, my first wife's moved on. She's gone to your plane to learn magic. It's that time in her life. We've already raised our family, and, well, I'm with my second wife and my first husband. And, well, we've sent off our kids. Much like you, Pinky. We bore a dark hair female, and, well, she has to prove her worth being a dark hair. So we sent her to the same plane as you to make something of her life. Only then can she return. My son's doing well, though. He was born a dusk hair like myself. I wanted to get away from the place. My family's been in mourning after my father passed.
That's terrible. Don't you sometimes feel like it should be all of our responsibility to just break down the chains of the casting system?
Yeah, see, this is where we're headed. You gobbos don't care. My tribe don't care. Dusk hair, light hair, don't matter. It's all about whether you
But how do
survive
you
or the fittest.
explain? How do you explain the light heirs being able to use divine magic?
It's just a privilege, really,
Something
isn't
to
it?
do with the passions we always thought.
It seems like the passions bestow great favor on them. I'm not sure the reasons, but I'm not here to discuss theology or the way of things. I just make my way in life, and that's how it's been for the past few hundred years that I've been alive.
Right, man, you're really old.
He nods. Yes. The drow are some of the longest lived of the races.
Rosy, you pick up on anything?
Been 3 minutes.
Pinky, you say you were looking for your dad, yeah? Like, do you know where he is? Or is it like, I mean, might be a silly question, but like, or have you just not, or you got any clues?
Clues.
What do you think he's gonna do when you find him? Is he gonna
Well,
like, oh, everything's all right, son. You're not like a failure.
Oh my god. I mean, you're really bringing my fears to the forefront here. I mean, I certainly don't. I hope that when we do meet, that he'll be able to recognize the hurtles I've had to go over and the progress that I've made. First and foremost, I just want him to acknowledge me. I'm hoping that by the time I meet him, I will have made enough progress to be acknowledged. That's all I want to
Well,
be. Is
I
it
will
be
try and help
acknowledged?
you find him, and if you want a hand trying to kill your mum for being so horrible, I'll also help with that.
Well, you know, I've never had a friend, but I consider all of you friends, and I certainly appreciate those words, Scud. Some people might feel that it's a horrible thing to say, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all right.
And I hope that you know that I would certainly help you murder your uncle. Was it?
Well, my gramps, I kind of got to
Your
do that one on
gramps.
my own. I got to do that one on my own, but my sister,
Oh well,
yeah, you could definitely help with
yeah.
that
No,
one.
I'll help you kill your sister.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Of
got to
course.
be a
And-
fair and square murder, that one, for the
Mhm.
gramps. Otherwise, I don't get to become Chief Booyard.
And I don't know, but
Kinslayers.
Milo's look at you too, like with the faintest of disgust. Like, what are you talking about? Killing your sisters? What?
Yeah, we drow live a long time. We try not to make enemies of family.
Of anyone?
we
Why
should-
would you?
Oh, we don't live that long.
we should also.
I
talk
wonder
about
why.
this.
I can see why.
We should have a conversation about this. So we're after your sister, Rusty. We've obviously heard that she's done some quite horrible things.
Don't distract him. He's casting a spell.
Yeah, you
don't
see
want-
Azim look over. I know she's done some horrible things.
The spell finished a minute ago. You guys just wouldn't stop talking.
That was not 10 minutes.
I just want to know if things get dicey. I mean, we'll need a safe word. Like, obviously, we'll try and not kill your sister, but I mean, it sounds like she's been corrupted to a certain degree. So,
Ragamuffin.
we'll let you. Ragamuffin's a good one. Yes, let's use Ragamuffin.
The man's name,
Rusty
who is
looks like
linked to
he's
this,
about to say
yeah.
something, but then he just bites his tongue and doesn't say anything.
Yeah. The man's name is Tyne Stetton, who is tied to this familiar.
Does that mean anything to me?
Means absolutely nothing to you. Apart from Milo, you've read the name several times on the archaeologist's documents. Well, you initially checked them.
Is little Charlie awake by now?
I was gonna ask, did if any of those bodies that we like dragging out, did they have like their names on their underwear or anything like that? Did we?
No, but you can go ahead and make me an insight roll.
Jeez.
That one corpse looks like a child to me.
Yeah, that is not really a drow name, from what you know, or a name commonly held by the people of the plane of the hateful.
There was one human, the rest were drow.
Yeah, one human, the rest were drow.
As the spell finishes, I toss the mouse back to Milo.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, the rabbit scurries about.
I think it was probably the human body. That Tin Stetton. Something like that.
I look at Charlie like if he's calmed down. Did your owner die? See one of the bodies I buried?
The rat. Yeah. The mouse just looks at you and twitches its ears.
Wag your tail, yes. If your owner died.
It wags its tail.
Oh, I'm sorry, little one. Do you want to join me and stay with me?
Right. Maybe we should
Just
just get
stares
out
at
of this misery.
It doesn't wag its tail.
Or we could set the
Why would
spirit
you
free
do this
back to
to
the
me?
Feywild.
There's no such thing as the Feywild.
Or wherever the spirits come from in this land.
I just like open up the pouch that's on my coat. You want to stay in there for a bit more?
They'll just hop in.
Fuck yeah. Close it. Gently pat it. It'll be okay. No spies here, Rusty. Just more orphans.
What insecure, aren't you, Milo?
Aren't you?
No.
Well, then you don't know yourself well enough. As he gives you a smile. It's with self-knowledge, with internal and supreme knowledge of yourself that insecurity is sprung, unfortunately.
Okay.
Another idea just popped into Rusty's head, so I start concentrating on the identify spell once more.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Azim gives like Milo kind of like a fatherly look and like shakes his head quietly to himself.
Yeah, Pinky yawns. Well, I'm quite ready for sleep. I don't know about you all, but I think I might curl up for the night.
And dice.
Curl up and dice.
Looks at the camera.
Little gym
Roll
moment.
credits.
Pinky, for advertising so well, you may level up during this long rest.
Oh!
And because I feel bad for the rest of you, you may also level up.
Yeah!
I totally would have been okay with you just having
Level
like,
6,
for
hell yeah.
one day, just for one day.
DMs do not do that. Terrible idea to have players on
Hell yeah.
Trust me,
You're just
DMs
asking
do
for
it.
some
It's
time.
great.
Yeah.
Can I
Terrible
guess? Can I
experience,
guesstimate that
If-
with
if
the
I-
long rest that also ends today's session?
Yes.
Oh.
Why don't we end today's session? That's a good point to end it on.
Yeah,
Before
level
we,
up.
before we turn it off, I'll just say the thing that I was casting Identify on, I don't know whether it will actually come up with anything, but I'm going to touch the symbol, the tattoo thing that we've got on our wrists, and identify it and see if we actually learn anything from that.
As you cast
smart.
Identify on that on your hand, figuring that out for the first time.
Oh my.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a
You-
long thing, you can end the session.
Yeah. As you cast that on your arm, you feel a strange connection as you sense Hazim looking at you. As you look over at Hazim, you see Hazim is like arms crossed, legs folded, and he's facing the opposite direction now. As we end today's session there.
Ooh.
Awesome. Now, I have to
Crossing their
ask:
legs.
Are we starting the secrets?
Yes, we will be starting the secrets from here on. So this is
Well, that's why you were with all the questions today.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yes, but also I was
Yeah,
like, well, it doesn't seem right that we've been traveling with each other for so long and we know nothing about one another. At some point, one of us was going to ask these questions. So
Milo's
Yeah.
talks
That's
about
what they're
himself
open
ad nauseum, so it's like a little surprise there.
let me turn that down.
But yeah, the
Rusty's just
secret
glad none of you
system.
rolled insights on him.
I have in the past.
I was lying so much.
We are playing. This is, I believe, has been introduced in the Rime of the Frost Mating module. We are playing with secrets, and it's why don't you
These are
tell
heavily
us?
modified, but it's
Yeah,
loosely based on it.
loosely based
the
on that.
Yeah, the audience and the players can both get rewards by guessing the secret of any of the players or their characters. Basically, it is a one-sentence secret like Hazim is the child of a giant would be an
Oh.
example of a secret. That is not true, by the way.
Very small
but-
giant.
Yes, of a very small giant. Or another one would be Pinky is from these runes originally. Would be another one. Sorry, it is the secrets
God,
are
he's
have been
really
like
a
shortened
changeling.
down. Yes, only one guess can be made per week, and as the audience guesses them, we'll basically pick out the first audience member who guesses the secret. Basically.
Or we can tie them to channel rewards. I think it's a better way.
Yeah. I think we were saying maybe we might be like spending a certain amount of channel points from watching. You can
Yeah.
put in a guess, or if you subscribe, you can put in a guess,
Yeah,
or you can put in multiple for subscribing. We'll hash out the hard rules.
the rules exactly. But there will be secrets.
Do we
you will
do,
be able to guess them.
and you have to guess on our Discord channel in the secrets section.
Yes, there as well. You can also do it here on the channel during each session. I will make sure that there's a channel point redeem available. Every single session you have one redeem available, and one person can do that. Basically, the first one to pull the trigger can.
Yeah, and we will be setting up the rewards, but I believe Charlie, you said something about dice or shirts, one or the other.
Yeah. So if we get popular enough, we can definitely do something like that. So if you actually get a secret right or something of the like, I will pledge to make either T-shirts, or I'm also a dice maker, so I will craft a unique set of dice for that specific subscriber. They will be completely unique and custom to you. So yeah,
just on that point, the subscriber or if another audience member gets it, they will be given this reward, or at the time that the secret comes out into the open, basically.
Yeah.
I would say
give Charlie some time and just so people.
Yeah, we can.
Even Yeah.
We can have
Also-
silence
also-
and
also be
Shinra
the
middle
first
management.
person to do
yeah.
Yeah. Also, we don't want someone blabbing the secret and then them knowing they got the secret right and spoiling it for the cast members who do not know the other people's secrets. So,
Well, the nice thing about the whole chat and Discord is we'll have a timeline for the first person to have
yeah,
guessed
exactly.
Exactly.
it. That's the
Keep-
only person who'll get it. But
Yeah. Keep
Nice
an eye on the
reward.
Discord. Keep an eye on the channel. We also will be streaming more often, coming soon. We will have Mondays. We have module Mondays where we'll play modules, and we have one shot Wednesdays where we'll play a one shot with rotating casts.